All right, Liberty and Jacksonville State, the third game on Tuesday night. We've got Liberty 6-point road favorites, 56.5 the total in this game. Liberty, the first non-point spread cover of the season for them last week in the game against Sam Houston State. And look, give Sam Houston State's defense a whole lot of credit. You have to, because they actually played a really solid game. They kept Caden Salter and the very good ground game of Liberty at quarterback and the ground game of Liberty in check. And look, Sam Houston State was right there with a chance to win, driving the ball less than a minute to go. They got down to, I think, the 5-yard line, but goal line stand by Liberty. They got the turnover on downs. Sam Houston had to go for it on 4th down, and Liberty survives with a 21-16 win over Sam Houston State last week. This is really going to be probably on paper the best game on Tuesday night. These are, two terrific football teams. They've had very strong seasons so far. No question about that. Excited to see how it plays out here in this Conference USA battle. You've got 3-0 Liberty inside conference play. Jacksonville State 3-0 in conference play as well. The two teams are a combined 10-1 straight up this year. So this is a hell of a football game here on Tuesday. I'm telling you what, though, you're going to again give me Jacksonville State in this underdog role, man. And they just continue to be very impressive. And this is coming from someone that's never been a big Rich Rodriguez guy. I've never been a big fan of this guy as a head coach, but right now their defense is impressive. They give up yards, but they get critical turnovers. They're forcing turnovers like crazy. They're taking the ball away every single week, and they're creating big plays with their defense. We saw it last week, pick sixes, fumble returns for touchdowns, you name it, against Middle Tennessee State. That Jacksonville State defense can come up with big plays and big stops when they need it. The one flaw in Jacksonville State is neither quarterback is a great pocket passer. Rich Rod's played both of his quarterbacks this year throughout their first few games, Logan Smothers and Zion Webb. Neither of these guys are phenomenal as far as throwing the football, but they have a terrific run-based offenses. Both quarterbacks are very, very athletic. The question is going to be, can they have that success here against Liberty's defense running the football? Liberty's given up 117 rushing yards per game, 4.2 yards per carry. Those are decent numbers. They're not great, but they're not horrible against the run. So what I did was I ended up looking at their schedule. Who have they played that can run the football? Well, they played New Mexico State. They're a balanced offense. Bowling Green's more of a team that struggles at times to run. FIU, is not a great offensive team. And then last week, Liberty played Sam Houston State. So dare I say it, they're probably going to get challenged here by Jacksonville State a little bit. I think I'm going to be looking at taking the home dog here. And again, now that we've seen Liberty fail to cover a point spread last week for the first time against Sam Houston State, kind of tells me, Conor, that maybe now the betting markets have finally caught up to this team, that they're being priced the way they should. And maybe there's still some opportunities here and moving forward to maybe go against Liberty after that scorching hot ATS start to the season that came to an end last week. They got the win, but they didn't even come close, obviously, to the cover. So, but end of the day, I'll tell you what, whether I end up moving on Jacksonville State or not, Conor, there's no way I'm going against them right now. They're a hot, confident football team. It's Jacksonville State or nothing for me here. What do you say here, C-Mac?
I think this one's going to be good. You mentioned when I saw that last week too, I'm like, okay, this is the line now. 3 touchdowns when you're not a huge school is getting out there because Liberty's just played so well. And you hit on it. I get into the common opponent here with Sam Houston between these two teams, the close game with both of them. And I think Jacksonville State's live. We talked about them. We talk about them every week. It seems like Jacksonville State they brought back a ton, 9 and 10 on each side of the ball. You mentioned their defense, bend but don't break. I think Liberty's defense is pretty good in this game, just giving up 17, 18 points. I know Jacksonville State's got into the shootout the last couple games and then last game against Middle Tennessee. But I think they'll run it. Both teams will be able to. I thought the total was too high. I'm looking at the under in this game, and definitely Jacksonville State with the points.
Yeah, this is a great clash because with Jacksonville State, they're going to play as fast as possible, extreme tempo, but it's a run-oriented spread. It's a run-oriented up-tempo offense. So that's the thing. Pass-oriented offense means you're really going to get a lot of plays. But again, with the running clock, even if you're going up-tempo but you're run-based and you're run-heavy, you're going to see more time come off the clock. So you will get a lot of plays snapped by Jacksonville State, but Liberty's kind of the opposite. And we saw this with Jamie Chadwell at Coastal Carolina, where they're in no hurry to snap the football. In fact, I'm going to bring it up here. Seconds per play. Jacksonville State's actually the fastest team based on seconds per play in college football. They're at number 1, but you go all the way down to Liberty. They're 117 out of 133 FBS teams as far as seconds per play. So the Liberty tempo is much slower. They bleed the play clock, and they take their time. They're very methodical. So you got one team playing very fast, one team playing very slow. So it should make for an interesting dynamic here as far as that total goes with Liberty and Jacksonville State.